I don't get why these organizations that are supposed to be trade industry organizations, like GAMA is supposed to be a group that helps game designers, manufacturers, retailers to sell product, get their product made, lift each other up in that sort of thing. Why they are such zealots in these organizations that just want to attack people, want to destroy people, and want to make their political points so badly that they're willing to blow themselves up. I mean, we saw this with Worldcon in 2018. Again, I'm a science fiction writer. I just wanted to hang out at Worldcon, talk about my books, maybe sell my books. And they couldn't let me do that because they know how I voted. They know that I'm a good church going member of society, that I'm a positive family man. And because there's so many bitter weirdos in these industries, they get into these positions and they're like, you know what, we're going to go full tilt and we're going to destroy this guy and keep him out of our organization no matter what, even if it destroys our organization. It's so bizarre to me. Worldcon, of course, was forced to apologize to me and pay me after a very, very costly lawsuit that cost them over $100,000 in attorney's fees. And yet, GAMA has now, as of this morning, sent me an email saying that they removed me because, again, they go off on this bullying, even though I was the person bullied, and that they've engaged an attorney in this matter. So they're already starting this process of having to pay exorbitant amounts just to try to harass me because of who I am, and it sucks. This is what identity politics does, and this is why it's so destructive. My name is John Delarose. I'm a #1 best-selling author and award-winning comic creator. I'm a person who supports you and your families. I'm a person who just wants normalcy and decency to be a thing again. And I'm just creating my own stuff. Card game on the works, working on it right now. I've got novels, comics coming out, all sorts of stuff. I'm the Renaissance man of modern entertainment in terms of being on the good side of things. So we had a huge goal that we hit, which is, as you can see in the corner here, $220. That's the cost for lettering for every single comic. So now I have that covered via Subscribestar every month. That's a huge weight off the comics. But you see there's a lot bigger goals, which the end goal at the end of the road is to be able to cover all the art so I can just produce comics via Subscribestar, and that'd be rad. It would help tremendously. And it would mean I could be even more productive than I am now. So if you want to support what I'm doing, hey, if you just like my videos and all that, this helps. You can chip in, and it'll help me to create entertainment and make a career out of it, which I've been trying to do for a few years, and unfortunately, these people won't let me. So support people who don't hate you. Support people who are making the real alternatives. My links are down in the description below, and I appreciate everybody who's come in so far. All right, the real subject of today's video is the fact that GAMA has not just done this to me. I'm just the latest in a whole slew of harassment of conservatives and Christians over the last several years. If you don't know the story and you're brand new and you just saw this, I joined GAMA a couple of days ago as a designer and trying to just get in. This is my post that I posted to the group. You can read this, pause it if you want. But I just basically introduced myself, said I've worked on these games, I'm working on my own game, I'm working with TGG Games, and here are some of my favorite things. I look forward to working with you all. And what happened is a couple of influencers with the industry, people who have been known to go out of their way to harass other people, like there's a Muslim board game reviewer that they harassed, seemingly because she's Muslim. And there's a bunch of other people who these people have targeted and gone after. Rodney Smith from the Watch It Played channel goes off and he wants me removed from the group and starts tagging people, posts this in Facebook to try to get a mob riled up to harass me. Now, they said that their terms of service doesn't allow bullying within the group, and this is the card-cut definition of bullying right here. So GAMA's not following its own terms of service immediately, which is not good for a 501c3 nonprofit. I can tell you that right now. Their attorney's going to tell them this is going to be ugly too. So here it is. And what's interesting is the worst thing that Rodney could find on me is that I said, hey, Hal Jordan, a fictional character, is not pansexual as people are trying to redefine him to be as a character. And I said that they're changing all these characters and changing all their attributes is not a good thing. and nobody wants this. And it turns out I was right. On the stream yesterday, I had a man who is known industry-wide as the definitive artist on the Green Lantern, Ethan Van Sciver, and he confirmed live on the air, yes, Hal Jordan is not a pansexual. So Rodney, I don't know why it says that makes me a bad person, but for some reason it does. And then he's very mad that I made a list of attractive board game reviewers. So because I found some nice ladies in the industry to be beautiful, Rodney says I should be banned from the industry. So this is all they have. Like, that's all Rodney could do to be like, this is a bad person. Obviously, I haven't done anything wrong. I've committed no crimes. Like, there's nothing on me. I'm pretty squeaky clean as it goes. I mean, honestly, I just sit here and write all day, and I hang out with my kids. I don't go out. I mean, I have a pretty stable life, unlike a lot of these people. So that's all he did. Eric Lang, who is part of the board gaming industry as a designer and all that, took to Twitter and also took to this Facebook group to do the same thing, made a similar post harassing me and bullying me and riling up a mob. And here they are. This is more of his tweets. GAMA replied by saying they're investigating it, and here they go. They urge him to report me. So GAMA says, okay, so if our deal is to if our code of conduct is about bullying, here, since you're bullying him, do it formally, was what they told them. Now, when I tried to talk to GAMA about their bullying me, they told me, don't message us on our personal Facebook. You can't do that. Now, interestingly, when Eric Lang posted about it in their Facebook group, and I've seen the screenshots, I have screenshots. They didn't say that to Eric Lang. They told Eric Lang, please DM me. Please show me what you would like us to do. So the way that they're treating these leftists who are harassing and bullying people is like they're royalty. Meanwhile, they treat me like a criminal just for trying to make my own game and exist. It's really, really awful. But GAMA went on, here's Eric Lang's statements where he harassed me also. GAMA went on, and what they actually ended up doing with this is libeling me for hate speech on their website, and they said we're in violation of their group's rules, which I didn't do anything. So I don't know how that happened. And they suspended me for hate speech and bullying. Now they've fully removed me from the group under false pretenses, and they've also engaged an attorney on the matter. So their members' dues, if you're a conservative member, a retailer, or a board game designer, your membership dues are now going to pay not towards helping the board game industry, but to pay somebody to fight me because I just want to exist and be a productive member of the board game community. That's it. It's crazy. I mean, if you think about this, but it's not the first time. And that's why we're doing this video today, because there's a long history of this with GAMA where they've harassed several wonderful people who have just been trying to get along, trying to make their own content. And it's always one way. So it's always about identity. It's always whether you're a conservative or a Christian, and they don't care about anything else. The first instance of this happened in 2018, and this is Larry Correia's Monster Hunter International website. So Larry Correia is a best-selling author, hugely popular, and he's an outspoken libertarian on Facebook. Now, Larry's a Mormon also, so he has some good Christian, wholesome family values. And on top of that, he was making his own RPG of his Monster Hunter International, wildly popular. So he was going to Origins Game Fair. They had him as the guest of honor there. And they removed him. They pulled him from this because he was getting harassed by several bullies in this board game industry, much like I am now. And they said, we don't want somebody like that, and got rid of him at this. And so Larry Correia was just like, I don't care. They can go screw themselves. And you know, that's not the way I fight. When somebody does this to me, I do deeply care because I don't think that it's a good thing to just allow people to harass us out of this sort of thing. Larry just wants to write. He doesn't want to go fight these battles. I'm here to fight these battles on behalf of Christianity, on behalf of conservatism, so that I can make it everywhere a safe space for not only myself, but also Larry and you and others. So it's just different tactics. But it's really tragic that they did this. Larry's like a very soft-spoken, nice guy. I've been to a convention with him. He's just, you know, he's a firebrand on the internet. But once you get him in person, he's just a teddy bear type of guy. and very nice in speaking engagements and things like that. He's very good at what he does all the way around. Very tragic that they treated him like this. All right, next is the quartering. Matt Loader, who's known as Fantastic Matt, assaulted the quartering at Gen Con 2018 the same year. Now, after this occurred, and after this was known and out there, and there's a police report filed and all that, GAMA actually hired Fantastic Matt as one of their directors. This guy is still one of their directors. They claim that they want a safe and inclusive space, and that's what they literally say in their code of conduct. But this guy is guilty of assault. At least there was a settlement as such where he was forced to apologize for it. Now, they defined it as, quote, physical confrontation. That's assault, okay? And this Matt guy is allowed in there. So if they're truly concerned about people's safety, a guy who actually has, on the record, gone after physically somebody at a Gen Con and gone after them, that's not a safe thing for your organization. Yet, because of his politics, that's okay. Because of Jeremy Hambley's politics, the quartering, apparently that's okay to GAMA. Their rules only apply to people of certain political persuasions, and that's just how it goes with this stuff. Now, I looked up this Matt Loader on Facebook, and Matt Loader has a Facebook wall where he's got a profile picture where he's still wearing a shirt that says Punch Nazis. He's got Punch Nazis as his banner behind him also. So he's not contrite about this. He is perfectly willing to punch people again, and he thinks Jeremy Hambley, the quartering, a guy who just makes videos on YouTube, is a Nazi. I mean, it's insane. So, oh well. He was forced to admit that Jeremy is, in fact, not a Nazi in that settlement. But this is the type of people that GAMA hires. This is what happens. There's 2 instances, but there's a third that goes on. And this is from Tech Radar from last year. GAMA expels Jeff Berggren from Origins 2021. Now, Jeff has been an industry professional for, I think, 20 years. And he runs a retail chain of networks where he is really responsible for moving board games. If your industry organization is about helping board games get out to more people, there's almost nobody who does that in the entire world than Jeff Berggren. He is, with his TGG games, really the person who gets games to people like almost, it's nuts. He's also a publisher. He's made his own games. And because he made a game called Tournament Fishing, which is literally just a card game about fishing. That's it. Like fish. You have a reel, you pull them in from the river. And it had a frog on the cover of the book. They flipped out at him. They called him a white supremacist, all this stuff. And they canceled him. Eventually, they claimed that there was threats of harassment against him falsely. And this is what they do. Some lady from GAMA accused me of death threats 2 days ago, and I told her to learn to code, which is a slang term if you don't know, because the Huffington Post had a big firing spree a few years back, and all these journalists were out of work. Well, people told them to learn to code because they should get an honest day's work. And she said, "This is a death threat," this lady to me. It's pretty funny. And then it reported me as giving death threats for telling her to get an honest day's work. When she was harassing me. Again, these people attack me. I don't just go after them. Well, similar happened with Jeff. Like, this lady, Suzanne from the Dice Tower, was harassing Jeff, was trying to get him removed from the industry. And he posted on his Facebook because somebody was talking to him and said, you know, if none of these people would act like this in person, and a lot of they're very much too chicken to act like this in person. People like Rodney Smith, I've met him before, honestly. He smiled at me. He shook my hand. This is all just online bravado crap that they'd never do in person. And they're so scared that they're trying to make it so you can't be there in person at this point just because of their own appearances. This is all a clout game. So Suzanne wanted to cancel Jeff, and he made a comment because somebody was like, I bet she's fun at parties. And Jeff made a comment back like, you know what, I'd totally have fun with her at a party. Well, she then went around lying about Jeff, accusing him of wanting to sexually harass her or something like that because of that comment. Now, Jeff's just saying, I wouldn't be rude to somebody in person. I'd hang out and have fun with them, and anybody could hang out and have fun. That is what board gaming's about, after all, allegedly. And so they expelled him from Origins because that was, quote, a threat. And this is how they treat people. Again, Jeff is a known conservative, and so this is why they do this. Even though Jeff hires tons of people across the board game industry, from designers to people who work in retail shops, he gives them jobs. GAMA decided to take it upon themselves to harass him because some lady wanted to destroy him over politics. That's what it comes down to. Why? Because she's an influencer, because she's a celebrity. These people love to talk about systemic white privilege all the time, but it's really celebrity privilege that gets you places in these industries. Everybody wants this online clout, even to the expense of their own businesses, to the expense of their own organizations, to the expense of their own lives. And the reason is, like, a lot of these people just have a God-shaped hole in their lives where they just are trying to replace the love of Jesus Christ and of the Lord with something to distract them, like board games, comics, science fiction. They're not just enjoying it like you and I would, or like, a kid would, for the fun of it. They're really investing their entire lives into it because they don't have real salvation. It's tragic. Now, I just want to fix this. I want to make these places safe for you and me, safe for conservatives and Christians, safe for families, safe for children. I don't want somebody to not be able to go to like an Origins game fair because they're so invested in making sure that all the weirdos can come in that you have to worry about your child getting touched inappropriately by one of these creeps because they want to expel anybody who says, hey, Disney shouldn't groom children, right? That safety is paramount because for entertainment and all that, it is the children matter. Your families matter. So we're going to fight. We're not going to stop. We're not going to bow. We're not going to equivocate. We're going to win because we have truth and righteousness on our side, and we have the real want and ability to work to get things done that a lot of these people don't have. So I'm going to be fighting this. I've sent all this information over to my attorney, of course. And if they want to go and they want to spend all their members' dues on just harassing me, then they can do that. But again, they're not doing what their organization's supposed to be doing, which, as their mission statement says, a board game on a table on every table. How is this helping that? How is this helping people to grow within the industry? You know it's not. And that's why we do what we do. All right. Hit that like and subscribe button. Let me know what you think about this. Leave a comment down below. And don't forget to sign up for my Subscribe Star to help fight the good fight, of course. And we'll be back soon.